Hello, good morning. Happy Monday. Okay, let's see. Okay. Add a alert on the other monitor. Zilby was running around trying to engage play with my shoes, so I don't know if he's going to follow me down here or not. But let's take a look at where we are. So if I remember correctly, I was going to set myself up with some tests to remind myself what we're trying to do. Add an article to a course. You're failed because you expect uh oh yeah, so there was an error here. Get by text saved is visible, right? So you're not showing up. Error saving course articles, error sending request to GraphQL, converting response to JSON. So after click U, I do get this back with these two things. But that may not be what it is. Let's see what it actually is. Okay, so I get this object. I get data, and then the object we have delete LMS course articles. So data, delete LMS course articles. And that is an object that has affected rows. And then we have insert LMS course articles. Oh, and that has returning. And then that's an array. Okay, so I'm missing a returning right here. Okay, so you're going to start with a object here. Okay, can I match? Yeah, go till matching that one, then I want to match surround that. And can I go to the first thing in selection? Ooh, I don't know how to do that. Okay, so in here we want a returning. Okay, let's see if that works any better. Okay, same problem. Oh, now it's okay. So we get this article added to course. This is after hitting the save button. Now we're just looking for that saved. Is that... I forgot to actually look at what it looks like. So we have article added to course. Then if I hit save, yeah, course article saved. So it should be that. Oh, okay. Missing field course ID. At line 1, column 231. So this is right after hitting save. I'm missing field course ID. Oh, okay. So returning, it's an array of objects that has course ID and article. And that's really it. Okay, so more. Okay, so oh yeah, right here. So course ID. I think we're doing one, and there's only one here, I think. All right, and that works. Excellent. Okay, so making a test pass for adding articles. Okay, next up, I believe, is this, removing an article from a course. So it's, oh, this might be working too. Okay, I will take it. Okay, that's everything passing. Okay, excellent. So then what's next? So we have course articles, and I believe that's fully tested now because I want to remove, I want to add, the save button works. I think that's everything here. And then there's preview we already have. There's nothing special with an author. Tags. Okay, so tags is going to be next. And is there, I don't even think there is a tag. So let's create that. We probably want, well, okay, so tags, we need to be logged in as a author and go there. Oh, I guess there's one thing that we can test with the other page. I forgot about that. And I want course articles. We want to test that we can't go there as a non-author. So before each we log in as an author. So I probably want here. I wonder if I want to describe around these. Okay, so do those tests as an author. So we'll need another before each. Okay, so login as an author for those ones. Then I want another test to describe. So I probably want to do this once for each for our different roles. So a visitor and a learner cannot go to that page. So we'll do visitor. And I really want to copy this one. And instead of an author, we'll change you to be a visitor. Role none. So this is a visitor cannot load the course article page. So I tell it to go to course articles. So I expect to actually be at the home page. Ooh, I probably don't actually want to go here. I want to test that I can't actually see the link first. So I cannot load the home page. Okay, so we want we'll go to courses. I guess that's where I can go. I can go to courses. I should not be able to see articles. Okay, we're gonna wait for that. Get by. Link with a name that includes articles. What is that called? Course articles. Okay, so go find course articles. Oh, and should be visible. Okay, so okay, that should just straight up be false. Apparently, I changed that enough. We'll rerun those. Okay, so it can't find the link. That's great. Then I want to just navigate straight there. This might be cannot see the course articles link. So cannot load the course articles page. Flint Rusty, hello. How are you doing today? How do you learn Playwright? You learn on the go? Yeah, so I generally like for most things that I do, I just sort of like learn by doing. Um I'll look at documentation, I'll look at other things, but generally speaking, I'm looking at it to solve a specific problem, not to just sort of learn in general. So like I never really just like read through the documentation like a book. With the Rust book, I did that on stream. Uh, so it's like slightly different, but I also spent time like going through every exercise and sort of like doing that, and it became a little bit more loose near the end of the book. Does that answer your question? Awesome. Well, it's great to have you here. How have you been? Okay, so we expect not to be in course articles. And then I expect, so get by text. I expect to find only authors are allowed. Authors are allowed. Uh, is visible to be true. Okay, let's see if that works. Yeah, absolutely. If you could, I'm fine with. I don't really do much with my LinkedIn. I think most of my time on LinkedIn is really just ignoring. It's just like accepting requests and responding to recruiters to say not looking or yeah, let's chat. But I don't really like ever post there. I'm a very boring LinkedIn user. Okay, so only authors can manage course articles. So that looks fine. So expect. Oh yeah, okay. So it's not exactly that. Some people makes Instagram. Sorry, some people makes LinkedIn their Instagram. I I've noticed that, and I think like so when I was early on in my career, I spent a lot of time on LinkedIn, but I remember when people started like doing, oh, it's my birthday, or it's like, happy birthday. And it's like, what is the point of that? Isn't that for Facebook and like the other social medias? Uh, so it was very, very confusing to me. Yeah, it's sort of like it feels weird that it's now like a normal social media. It's just like every other social media out there. Okay, so I visitor cannot load the course articles page and a visitor cannot see the course articles link. So then next is I want to do the exact same thing for learners. So if you're logged in but you're a learner, so learners cannot see the course articles link. Okay, so role make you a learner, but then everything else should remain exactly the same. Okay, and that works for that. Okay, so I think we're happy there. Let's go ahead and git commit this. Oh, right. We're starting to work on that. Okay. Hold on. I'll commit in here. Learners or testing. Learners and visitors cannot access course articles page. Okay. Doda, hello. How are you doing today? All right, this is tags. So I guess the first thing is I'll start the opposite of what we did last time. Visitors and learners should not be able to visit this. Pretty good day for vacation. Oh, nice. So you took what? Wednesday through starting Wednesday of last week off? Nice. It's always nice. All right, and tomorrow. Uh Wait, oh, you counted the weekend? Okay, I wasn't counting the weekend. I wasn't counting the weekend. Like to me, vacation is like the active days off of work, right? But I know a lot of people don't. A lot of people, especially like the business people, they'll be like, "You're taking like 2+ weeks off." I'm like, "I'm taking 6 days. I'm taking like 5 days off. Come on, I'm just using holidays cleverly." Arkansas. Arkanes. No, it's right because that's a two. Arcanes, hello. How are you doing today? Just wasting time before a job interview. Uh, well, if if it's you interviewing, good luck. And if it's your conducting the interview, good luck. Okay, so let's start with visitor. You're getting interviewed kind of the second time today. Ooh, second time today? Second, I don't know why. Second interviews in one day feel different. Like it feels not exactly sure like how to describe it. To me, it feels like it's almost like, oh, I'm in demand. I've got 2 interviews in one day. I have so many. I had to schedule them for one day. That kind of like that sort of like feeling that I can walk into like that first interview with. You remember an interview process starting at 8 or 9 a.m. ended up 5 p.m. Hour interviews back to back the whole day. That is rough. I think my longest interview I interviewed with LinkedIn at one point in time, a long time ago. That was an on-site interview, and then that was until lunch. So that was like 9 until noon, and I also did terribly. That was not invited to go to lunch out with the team or the after. I'm assuming there was afternoon interviews if I had passed the morning ones, but I did not, and I was exhausted. It does feel that like you have to be those type of interviews are like really draining. Yeah, it helps to be outgoing with those because then you get energy from like chatting with people. All right, what's this first one? Which is I cannot see. So a visitor cannot see the tags link. To be honest, 8 a.m. would be me being a nervous wreck. At 12 p.m., I would be great. And then at 4 p.m., I would be telling my plan to control the world. Nice. That's always nice if you like are if you're able to like have that consistently. You can control and like you could work your entire plan around when you're going to be feeling like you can control the world, and then that's gonna like help. All right, so cannot see the links tag. So oh, I need to log in as a visitor. Okay, so we're gonna start with roll none. Edit the page. Destination will I think just be slash because I believe that this one is it's going to be in the top link. I think I just do that. Okay, so now I'm at there, so I should be able to not see the links. So just straight expect. I think it's going to be tags like that. It's visible to be false. Okay, so if I run that as a test, someone in the afternoon in that process accused you of wanting to work there for a year. Oh, for like only 1 to 2 years and then leaving. Honestly, he wasn't prepared for it at that stage. You know what's what's interesting is that that's like normal now. Like you kind of have to assume that somebody's only going to stay for a couple of years. Uh, I mean, okay, the people that I've worked with generally have been staying longer than that, but I figure that's more due to like really good culture. But like I've had people that only had also like last for 1 year or so, and that's usually because they found work that's like more interesting or something else. And it's like, okay, it's kind of normal. Sometimes as part of the interview process, I ask what they expect, like what they can gain, what they want to get out of working with me and the company. Interviewing is such a crapshoot. I think one of the things to remember is that the people doing the interviewing know like about as much of how to interview as like anybody interviewing. So it's like it's basically people that don't really get that much practice at it doing it together. And like what I told students when I was teaching was people interview generally the way that they were interviewed. And so if there's like a really crappy process for interviewing and they were interviewed in that way, they're going to just do the same thing to the next people. And therefore nothing ever gets better. At least that's what it feels like. Well, and that's the thing is like if somebody says the only reason that I'm working with you is to get money, then what that tells me immediately, like they can be extremely good, but it tells me that they're a mercenary. And being a mercenary isn't necessarily a bad thing. But if I want somebody to come in and like help improve the culture, to help improve the code base, can I really trust that from somebody who doesn't really care about anything other than just the money? I'm going like as far as I know, they're just going to be going in to like work work and get money and then head out. And I don't necessarily want them to work after hours or anything, but I do want them to care more than just the bare minimum. And so that's like that's something I'm looking for is like, okay, are you like I go back and forth on like the entire passion thing that a lot of hiring managers want to go for. It's like, yeah, I want you to be passionate about something. It doesn't necessarily have to be the same thing I'm passionate about, but something. Is there something interesting for like that working here will like provide you some kind of motivation for living? Funding my food budget is a passion of mine. So that's the thing is, if somebody were to say a money adjacent answer to that. If they were to say something like, "Hey, I really am passionate slash love making, I don't know, food art, like really like nice food things, and like has nothing to do with programming," that is not a no. That is a, and then I go to work to hang out with people. I do a really high quality job, and then I just want to go home and do that. And it's like, okay, let's chat about that and let's find out your personality through that. Third floor draft. Hello. How are you doing today? You always try to step back, say, what made the process shit, and fix it. It's it is so sad how rare that is. My my big thing that I try to take to like try to bring into interviews is a role playing aspect as opposed to just the normal whiteboarding interviews. So instead of a okay, let's whiteboard, creating a route for this thing or solving this algorithm, I usually say, okay, we're going to jump into a little role play session. I am going to play as a junior developer. You're coming in as like either another junior or a mid or a senior. I want you to work with them and then solve this problem. And then I give them an app that has been created with a bug in it, and we have like 4 user stories for them to work on. And I don't really care how far they get into it. I just want to see, can they get any amount into it? Can they? How is their code? How is them pairing with somebody who is more junior with them? And it's surprising how quickly somebody will like forget that it's the interviewer and like go straight into, okay, we're pairing now. And you get sometimes people who are really, really, really not nice to people who don't know as much as they do. Or they go in and like they are not trying to like help the person learn or anything else. They're just like, do this, do this, do this. Or like, come on, don't you know how to, you know, it's you can learn a lot from a person that way. Let's see. Have I had an interview that told you straight away that they plan to only stay a year or two? No, I have never had somebody who tells me that. And my personal thought is that there's not very many software developers who are who are going into like main jobs, like full-time jobs, who are planning on only staying a year or two. I think that most of them actually do plan on staying long term. It's just more of after a year, there's recruiters, they know the statistic. They start reaching out pretty heavily when your LinkedIn starts saying it's a year old. And they're like, "Ooh, you mean I get to now, like, you're reaching out to me about this like thing, this type of work that I've never done before, that like has always been my dream to work in? Hell yeah." So that's usually what ends up happening. The culture is the difference between a 6 month job and a 5+ year job. It can be. It can be. I've been the last 2, 3 rounds that I've done hiring on. I've the people that I work with to hire, I emphasize we're going for culture add. Go for culture add, not culture fit. We don't want somebody who's the same as us. We want somebody who can add to us. And there's some rules there, like we have some social questions that we ask in every interview, and so things like, when is it appropriate to raise your voice in a work setting? Um, have you ever have you ever raised your voice at another coworker in the past? Like, several questions like that. And you'd be surprised at the number of people who say, well, yes, it's definitely appropriate. When your coworker just isn't getting it, it's time to start yelling at them. It's like, okay, thank you for letting us know. That is not the type of culture we're going for. So, bye. Yeah, figures of stick. Hello. You don't see the point of working somewhere unless you actually care about the work that you're doing. Otherwise, you find it hard to get mo. That's exactly what I sort of like feel like from our side. For user stories, well, it's not that hard. The user, okay, so it's a to do app usually to do app, and then user stories are something like, I want to click on a user story and see the details of user story. And so like if it's a front end version of this, then all that really means is like adding in like a route to go to like a single page. They're very small user stories. You've raised your voice once, you can remember, regretted it afterwards, the coworker really never back down. It never works. It never works. If somebody else is escalating, escalate to counter that. Won't that's the entire idea of like eye for an eye will turn the world blind or something like that. It's never gonna work. When you stub your toe on the table leg. So we do have quite a few people who answer that way. It's like, because some people actually think that we're looking for an answer and won't accept never, and so then they'll actually like search for it. Okay. Um, when I hurt myself, or I think like one person said, when my code compiles after not getting it to run for like half a day, that's when I can shout and yell into the room. It's like, things like that, which those are always fun to sort of see when people like they use that answer and they switch it around to be a joyful yell and raise voice, which I think is fun. I think that's great. You counter with, I'm human and capable of mistakes like that. It depends on what it is. If it's being like angry and upset about something else, it's not, because like that's going to to harm the other person. And so like if it's something that they're like, and then I guess like do they do it regularly? I'd be a little bit concerned about that excuse. Is like, is it a regular thing? And then like, oh, I'm so sorry I did this, and then they just use that as an excuse to keep on doing it. That's the concern I would have. Speaking louder will make me understand it better. Yeah, exactly. In that case, the coworker refused to drop an issue and went on a hissy fit for the remainder of my stay at the company. Refused to sit by. Oh, so yeah, that it sucks when like there becomes those not even rivalries, those problems in a company, and that is like absolutely a a management problem. Like a manager needs to step in and say, okay, we need to like figure this out in chat. And if the two individuals cannot work together at all, then it's probably going to, like, for me, I can't have two people like that on the same team. And then at a company, the company size that I generally work with, I can't even have them in the same company because we're too close knit together. And so if it didn't improve, one of them would have to leave. Temperous, hello. Kind of dumb from their part, though. Losing composure happens to everyone, doesn't make it okay, but it's equally as wrong for not resolving this with you and talking us down. Yeah. Um, you had a boss that would yell, never at you, but only because I could do the things that he couldn't. Anybody he held school over was subject to bullying. Oh no, that's horrible. Bullying from a manager is the worst thing because there's a power dynamic there. And so I'm big on the idea of like the servant manager, the servant leadership idea, where a manager is really there to like be be the protector, be someone who helps raise up people under him. Someone who like harms their their direct reports or uses them for their own gain is like, that's a special place. And like, I am going to like whatever, like I am going to do what I can to like stop that situation. And I don't know, like I don't have confirmation, but I think I may have gotten a few of those people fired in the past. Mostly just little conversations with their bosses here and there about like, oh, just like, did you know that your top developer might be leaving soon? You know, it really sucks how they got yelled at and they really are hating things. Stuff like that. The manager made it worse. That's the problem. How do you deal with competitive coworker? Chat with them. So like first talk with them and see if you can like come at it from a, well, like what similarities do you have? There's it's I sort of like have mentioned this a few times with the book Crucial Conversations, but like this is that book that's like super 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 helpful in like having those conversations about, ooh, this person's really competitive. This person like is has a vastly different a way of interfacing with life than I do, and that can cause a lot of friction. But it's not necessarily um and you feel it can be towards you. Yeah. So it's it just a conversation. Just like start off with a conversation, make things safe with each other. So establish safety. Like then just basically once you have that safety, almost all the ways of saying it are open now. So you can basically say things like, "Hey, when you did this action, it made me feel this way. And I felt that you don't like me because, we're in competition together. And if they're if they're cool, they'll keep that safety. and they'll then go into chat. It's like, oh no, that's not what I meant at all. I am a super competitive person, and I'm sorry, it just comes out and everything, but I just really like being competitive. And then you can, once you get to that point, you can start looking for solutions together. And there's different strategies. Those become more specific to like what you're working on, but yeah, like hopefully you can find like a middle ground. If you can't at all and they refuse to help create like safety in the conversation, there's no, like, you can't move forward until that safety is established. Don't even try to communicate with them. He wanted to be a lead dev but was a weaker dev than me. Yeah, that sucks. I'm now in a manager position. I'm deeply in the same camp. It's my team. I work for them. There's early on in my management career, I learned, well, actually I learned this before I was even in the management side of things. A manager is either a shit umbrella or a shit funnel. Nobody wants to be the manager known as a shit funnel. Oh, he had no desire to work with you. That sucks. Okay, so you've worked fine with lots of people. You've also had people outright refuse to work with you. Depends upon where they fall on the spectrum. Yeah, I mean, that's where like management, so management does have that power. Like they clearly have power. They have the power of hiring and firing, and that's like not insignificant, and it can be used as a surgically when appropriate. So if two people aren't getting along, at some point you can just say, look, we don't have to be friends. It doesn't, like, I don't care if you're friends or not. I care that you can work together in a professional way during the day. And if you go home and don't think about each other, that doesn't bother me in the least. But if you like snark and snipe at each other like a bunch of school children, that's a problem. Be professionals. Um, and that I've had people who, like, I could tell they did not get along. They did not like each other, and they worked together. And you, like, if you were from the outside and you didn't know them, you wouldn't know that they didn't like each other. But they would always just work well together because that's just what you do when you're professional. Refusing to sit by a coworker, you might be the problem. It's like two things. If somebody what is it called? If somebody extends you an olive branch and you refuse to take it, that's on you. Like that's a big thing. That like a good manager will notice that and say, "Ooh, you've been telling me that like this person is really like not good to you, but they're seeing them attempt. They're trying and you're not giving them any chance. You're not giving them anything." Kind of had that issue when I was working in a factory. Never spoke to you except when he had to, but we never said hello to each other. Yeah, and that happens. And that's like, it's nice to have friends at work. It's nice to be able to say like, "Oh yeah, my best friend is at work. I work, I've become friends with all my coworkers." But it's not necessary. I have never worked in factories though. So, uh I've worked in like commercial and like stores. And I think in those ones, like, I barely talked to anybody else I was working with. So I'm there. I understand. I'm curious. When you worked, when both of you worked in the factories, did you work? Did do you know if they did something called TPS or Lean? I have not actually ever worked with somebody or talked with somebody who did Lean for real, like real Lean, like TPS Lean. There was one who dumped his romantic life on you out of nowhere. Oh, that yeah. That there's the overshares too. You'll get that like in work or not work too. Part of good culture is having people that are easy to get along with. Yeah. You were on the production team. You weren't a coder there. Well, like TPS and Lean isn't necessarily coding. Um, so fun sort of fact. Uh, the Agile, like the very early versions of Agile, was took a lot of its inspiration from TPS, Toyota Production System, which was also the first like sort of iteration version of Lean. Which is so it's all like all that came from physical manufacturing. I'm sure someone in a factory would say they did TPS and Lean. Maybe I was the guy even, I don't know, but the execution of that stuff is everything. Very true. Like we all know with Agile, you can say you're doing Agile, you can say you're doing TPS, but if you're not actually doing it on the floor, then it's just management saying that to check a box and for like marketing purposes, but they don't actually want to give power over to employees. Kanban came from Toyota. Yeah, actually. So the Kanban system, which Kanban, if I remember correctly, and if somebody actually speaks Japanese, that they can correct me if I'm wrong with this, but it means to visualize work, like a literally board of work. And so like on the floor in like Toyota factories, they would have like a giant board showing the status of all the different things. But then there's even more. They had like the pull system, which was literally tags of, I think it was like red and yellow, or maybe red, yellow, green. I can't remember that anymore. But the idea would be you have a tag on your system, and when you're finished work at your station, you put it. You don't you don't send it to the next station. You put it next to your station. It's in the output bin, and then if you're at the next station that's going to process that work, when you're ready for more work, you go and you literally pull it into your system using the tag on it, and the tags can show you like what type of work it's for, and so you can know the importance of that work, and how important it is. So it's that's where pull system and everything else like came in, is like they invented all that. To prepare the coworker that refused to sit by you, he's ultra young, like young 20s. He'll mature over time. Yeah, if he gets good managers, he'll learn that hopefully quickly. You only recently realized lead devs should have like 10 years of experience. And you've worked with 40-year-olds behaving like teenager. I mean, you're going to get the gamut of people and experiences, and then just how they act. My favorite story, it didn't happen to me. It happened before I joined at my last company. But one of my bosses said that they had a event, an incident occur when you went out, and they had a light that was just like one of the standing lights, between some desks, and this person decided they wanted the light. So they walked over one day and just grabbed it. But the other person's like, dude, that was my light. I need the light. And so put it, moved it back. And it started this battle where it was like, oh, like every day somebody comes in and starts like taking the light and moving it over, which then escalated more and more. And most of the developers there thought that it was just sort of like funny, kind of funny. It's like, oh, haha, you're just like playing practical jokes on this. Except the one who started it wasn't. He was pretty serious. And so the big boss at the time got sick and tired of people like snarking and sniping at each other over it. So went out, bought like 10 lights, enough for everybody plus like one or two. Made everybody put them together, and then he took them all, including the original light, and put them into his office and locked the door and said, nope, nobody's getting a light until you all like actually talk to each other about like why we're going this sniping thing. And that ended up creating a big, huge event that resulted with one person being fired. That was fun. Super Keeper, hello. It's funny how like a bad work situation will stick with you for the rest of your life. Or even just like a sudden work communication, you're like, whoa, no, 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 no. Yeah, I love that spot on your second monitor. Although like if that direction maybe slightly, I don't know. I'm assuming I'm not full screened. Okay, I finally caught up with everything chat. People problems are hard problems. They are hard problems. You know what is kind of funny is that I'm in theater mode at least. Okay, that's great. Then we can have some popcorn. We have some fun. Also, hello Temporis. Um, people problems are hard problems. Absolutely. Well, I mean that's the it's Simon Sinek has been on YouTube for years going around saying like we need to stop calling communication skills soft skills. That like they are 100% required to work in a team. Let's stop calling them soft as if they're optional or as if they're easy. They are not easy. Sometimes they're harder than the technical skills because there is not the same type of logic in most communications, and sometimes there's no logic at all and you have to go based on different skill sets. Oh, you remember when your boss at a first job bitched about a coworker? Oh, that is the worst. Having a group of managers, group of people, a group of leaders really, because like leadership and management isn't the same thing. There's some cross, but like you can be a leader without being a manager. Having some leaders that will like fight back and it's like, nope, you are not talking about that person. That is not cool. Is for a company worth its weight in gold. It's one of the reasons why I think that most companies should strive to have everyone become a leader in the company. Because then you'll get people defending each other like that. And then you can relax. Because if you say something that's going to offend somebody else, you'll be called out on it. And knowing that you're going to be called out about it makes you relax about it. Because then you don't have to be sort of like on trying to figure out like, okay, am I going to say the wrong thing? People are messy and their compilers give shit error messages. That's because we don't have compilers. We're just in time. We're just in time. We're scripts. All right. I've caught up to chat. Okay, so we're I think we got a bunch of people during that time. Contrary to this, we're not only talking about hiring and working in companies. We're doing that while at the same time doing some testing. So I just cannot see the tags link. Okay, so visitors cannot see the tags link, and then I also want to do if they attempt to go straight to the tags page, it will kick them out and send them back to the root. So let's do cannot load the tags page. I see more chat messages coming in. I'll get to them soon. Okay, so I want to click on that. So we're gonna wait. Page dot go to, where is this? Okay, so it's just tags. So slash tags. We'll wait until the network is idle, and then we expect .url to, I guess not to match tags. And then I also expect, wait, page.get by text, something like authors can like manage tags. I don't know if that's exactly me right. We're gonna find out. Visible to be true. So I want to see that warning after this. Okay. Let's run that. You do not forgive. That's the thing you do not do generally. Perhaps I could forgive as my best friend because she is an open book to you, but in a professional setting, nope, never. You fucked up. So there's maybe it's slightly different than your like definition of forgive. There's I'm trying to remember, there was a book that I read that talked about the reason why we forgive is not for the other person. It's not to like give them a pass. The reason we forgive is for like the health benefits to us. So like I forgive other people for things they did to me because I want to move on and go past that. And it's possible to forgive somebody and never trust them and never want to work with them. Like you don't have to forget and you don't have to accept. Maybe it's the other way. Maybe it's accepting. Whatever. Like basically you can forgive them but not ever deal with them again. That's sort of like my definition of like where I go from it. Yeah, same idea, Dota. I don't ever want them in my headspace. I don't want to think about it anymore. Yeah, so it's for yourself. It's not for the other person, and you don't even have to tell the other person. I think that's something else that I think some people sort of like forget about. Is like, okay, I'm telling you I'm forgiving you. It's like, no, no, no. You don't have to go and talk to the other person. It's all for yourself. It's like a meditative like thing, yeah, like internal thing. I think there are things you should not forgive for your growth's sake. I guess like I haven't run into those, so like I don't know, like I can't speak to certain things, so I don't know for certain. When you forgive something, you're letting that something go. You don't require your energy anymore. You don't give it energy. You don't give it any energy anymore. That's sort of my feeling about this. What's onto it though is that you can set up shields for it. Like if you forgive somebody, but you also acknowledge that they can still do this and they're probably going to do it again, you can set up defenses for it. And you now accept like other people could do this too. Then it's like, okay, I'm gonna have to deal with that. Well, I seem to have loaded the tags page uh successfully, which is not where I wanted to go. And this, okay, so go to tags, wait until network idle. I should not be here. So that's a problem. Okay, so if I, okay, I'm not logged in. If I go to tags, yeah, okay. Uh, let's, we need to go fix this. Code time. Okay, so where do I want to go for this? This is going to be in the pages tags. Oh, look at this. Okay, so the very first time, if store.logged in, so if this is true, oh, if I'm logged in and I'm not an author, only authors can manage tags. Go home. Otherwise, just keep on going there. So if I'm logged out, it's fine. It's just if I'm okay, that seems a bit silly. I need to use, okay, so I think we have something to test like where we're at. So we probably need to use a fact here. Having the ability to talk to each other about any issues so you can like hear each other's point of view and discuss that, that's super healthy. That's really good. If only things worked like they did with best friends and everybody. That I think the thing is with best friends, you have a vested interest in healing the relationship, right? Because you gain something out of being friends with them. And so therefore losing that friendship is painful and you want to like it's therefore doing the actions of having the hard discussions, even no matter how painful those are, is less painful than the thought of losing them. So therefore, you you're willing to talk to them about it. Oh, most things are forgotten when you've slept. That's not me either. I tend to not sleep very well. So I'm with you, Ark. Ark. I will it will keep me up at night. I have to journal or something to like go work through it. Oh, the ability to be talked to about anything is really good too. To be approachable is good. You got approachable as feedback as a manager. That's excellent. Okay, so we're here. What I want to check to see is like, okay, we have this logged in. Do I have let's go to main store. Do I have like a main status? Oh yeah, so here look at this. We have auth loaded is a loading state. Uh so I can find out whether or not auth is loaded or loading. So what I really want to do here is get the auth loaded. Okay, so we have the store. So I want to move the store in. So okay, so store equals store dot clone. So we'll clone the store. We'll move it into the let's effect use effect. Let's match the store dot auth loaded. All right, because like you won't tell me what you are. What are you upset about? Oh, cannot find function. Import you. Non-exhaustive patterns. Okay, can you add that, please? Fill the match up. That always confuses me when 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 REST Analyzer screws up like that. It's like, oh yeah, I'm gonna fill these charms like a mile above the code. All right, now what are you upset about? No method named and wrap for opaque type. Navigator definitely has a type. Did I screw something up? And you are, huh? Hold on. So I try to take you out. Okay, hold on. Let's not do that. We'll do BB loading state. Okay, so we have initialized, BB loading state, loading, BB loading state, loaded. Okay, we'll do that. All right, back to interview questions. Why do managers ask about qualities and defaults during an interview? Okay, like strength. Like what are your what is your greatest strength? What is your greatest weakness? Or what is your biggest strength? What is your biggest weakness? It's a as far as I can tell, it's an interviewer that's attempting there. I don't think that the interviewer is attempting to be tricky here. What I think they're trying to do is ask, do you know how to take something and turn it into a positive? It's sort of like almost a politics type thing, but it's more of like, okay, do you know how to answer this type of question? That's really what it is. Do you know how to like to take a statement and turn it around and turn it into something positive for yourself? Most people just disguise strengths and weaknesses because it's better to give six strengths and than three strengths and weaknesses. And that's actually here's my thing. I think that's what the question really is asking: is can you give um, strengths in the guise of weaknesses? Oh, when someone asks you that, you answer to the default straight up. Giving the interviewer a reason not to hire you is kind of it is one of those it's one of those things. I don't like the question. I never ask it because the only information I get about that question is whether or not I shouldn't hire somebody. I never get a reason why I should hire somebody. So therefore, what's the point of asking that question? I should always be getting every question should like leading me towards or away, not only one direction. My biggest strength is my glorious beard. That'd be great to say that and be clean shaved in the interview. Oh no, it's total BS. It is absolute total BS. Having a negative isn't bad, absolutely. But the problem is that this is what we call a loaded question. It is not asking that question. It is asking a different question altogether. It's absolutely a mind game. Your inability to hide your frustration. That's not that's a pretty decent one. Um Pika, hello. Why you left me confused? Um my go-to answer is I have dyslexia. Dyslexia it's a but I've managed to turn it into more of a strength because yes, there's times where I get things mixed up, left and right, up and down, the various things, but I have noticed that I can make connections, creative connections that I can't usually make otherwise. So it really helps out when I'm doing coding or design, and I can use that to my advantage. Oh, why did I do that? I do that so I can show books like this, and like you can actually see the titles. But then I was faced away when I was over on the other side. Oh, and Sylvia's not been here the entire time. I should not have that up. That's why I put myself over there and switched out. Yes, I am dyslexic, and I do code. Yes, although it does put me in front of the code like this, which sucks. Um, what can I do about that? I can do this. I can move Oh, okay. Okay, that's not what I was expecting. um, I wanted to move both of these to the left, and that's not what happened. Okay, so pane. Can I pane move? There's move focus, new, close, rename, split. No, that doesn't do it. Strength, curious, enthusiastic, sociable, loves problems, weaknesses, blunt, curious, speedy, too curious, too enthusiastic, can't shut up half the time. Uh, you're not a, those are not liabilities. Here's the way I explained it to my students when I was teaching, because like we would get to the point where it's like, okay, time for you to go out and find jobs, and I would do lessons on how to interview, and the entire like, what is your greatest strength? I did like an entire lesson on just that question, because it's you have to teach people how to like handle this, which is you say the weakness and then you keep talking. So you explain it, you keep talking until it becomes a strength, and then you shut up. And that's the key for a lot of these type of things is like, okay, if it's a negative thing, you do not stop talking. As soon as it becomes a positive thing, you stop talking. That's it. That's the algorithm right there. Because once it's positive, more talking has a greater chance of making it back to negative again. I agree with Dota. They don't want to know. They don't really want to know. Even if they think they want to know, they don't really want to know. Okay, well, I was attempting to move these over here, and that didn't work out the way I was expecting it to. Uh, like I was hoping that I can move this to the left, but I'm moving the content of it to the left. That's something that Tmux does really well, and I'm not seeing like there's resize, but that's not the same thing. I don't know if I can do that. So like this, if I put you back there, well, I guess what I could do. Okay, let's resize you like this. Bring it over like that, and then we will move you over here. And I guess we'll just deal with that for right now. Okay, so my code is now smaller, but should be fine. Strengths and weaknesses are a matter of perspective, anyways. They are, which is one of the reasons why it's completely useless as an interview question. It can only be harmed against you because it's their perspective on your answer. So therefore, it's one of those like, ooh, you have to play the politics game. Put on your inner politician and answer in like turn it into a positive. Okay, so here I have, let's say initialized. I want to, Okay, so when we're initialized, we haven't even started loading yet. So I don't want to do anything at all. So we ignore this. We're still loading. We haven't finished loading. I don't want to do anything yet. We have finished loading at this point in time. Now, essentially, I want to run this. If we're logged in, well, we now know we're logged in. If we're not an author, so if store.user is author, okay, so if we're not an author, then I want to take these two things, throw them in here. Okay, so okay, I need the dispatch too. So that will move into here, use dispatch. I don't need to clone you. Only authors can manage tags. Push to go home. Okay, and then I don't need you anymore. I think that'll work. Okay, successfully rebuilt. Here, only authors can manage tags. I'm not here anymore. And if I try to go to /tags, yeah, it just sends me back to here. So let's rerun these tests. Bollocks to the inner politician, just goes scorched earth. I mean, sometimes you just need a good cathartic cleanse and to go out and just dump all of your problems on some person that wasn't expecting it and is was probably not hoping to have that happen to them. I mean, as long as you're not like too much, as long as it's not over the top, just sort of like just say you can politely refuse to answer the question. Though you were looking to get 3 to 4 hours of coding in, looks like more 2 hours. I mean, you're on vacation though. That being said, if it is fun time, like then you can figure it out. Um, risky for telling like saying no. So don't be rude. Don't be rude. Accept that there is a high chance that you will be denied the job. If I was to go in, if I wanted to skip a question, I would use it as practice for how to say like that kind of stuff. It's like um think about it in this way. At some point in the interview, we probably get the idea I'm not getting this job. And at that point, I think it's a good idea to switch the expectations and switch over the purpose of the interview. Because the second that we're no longer there to get the job, well, we're still there, right? Time to switch what you want to get out of that interview. Now it's learning, improvement, something about that. Maybe they can teach you something, but if they can't teach you something or they don't want to teach you something, maybe you can practice something. Well, I'm now going to answer these questions in completely different ways than I normally do, just as practice to see how that feels. That's what I would do. As a student, you got similar questions to that before, like the "Are you married?" You know, very personal life things. Things are in the United States, at the very least, are not legal to ask for those type of personal questions. But a lot of people do. They're hoping students don't realize it's not allowed. Um, how many of you remember that there was this period of time shortly after Facebook came out and like became big that a lot of interviewers were asking for like your Facebook account so they can go and research you on social media to like to see whether or not you were the type of person they wanted to hire. Okay, it's illegal to ask that in France too, but they still do it. Same thing here. It's like it still happens, but it is illegal. And knowing your rights, if like, I guess that's the other thing is like, if if you're if you're in a crunch and you have no choice but to take that job, you are you kind of have to like answer that, right? Like it sucks. It really really sucks. And my suggestion is if you if you run into that, don't stop looking. Like take that job and then keep on interviewing. Never stop interviewing and find one that doesn't suck, that doesn't mistreat you all the way from the interview stage. No, we haven't seen that one, but I do remember. So that was a huge one, right? Because like, oh, I want to do that was a huge invasion of privacy. Because they wanted to see whether or not they basically wanted to do an interview and find out who you were without actually talking to you. Uh, almost like, hey, what time do you go down to the bar? I want to go and watch you while you have lunch. But instead of like inviting you to go have lunch and like pay for it, I just want to follow you from a distance and watch you with a camera and then like, make judgments on your choice of what drinks you did or what you wore to, go hang out with friends. Things like that. It's like, ooh, I don't like that. Nowadays, we're social media has become so ubiquitous and Google is so good that yeah, you can just find somebody on Facebook really easily. That's the reason why they don't ask anymore is because it's too easy to find them. There was a period of time where there were people in the United States asking potential employees for their social media username and password so they can log in and look at private photos. That was a thing that happened. That's like talk about a no-no. That was that was horrific. There was rightfully a lot of articles that went on around that time to say to shame that. Pika, you wish you can tell what kind of work you want to do. You haven't even decided what degree you're going to get. I wouldn't worry about it too much. I have an anthropology degree and I work in programming. I'm now a manager. Most places don't don't um don't count that as a negative if you don't have like a degree specifically to what you're working for. A lot of places just care that you have a degree at all, and after that, sort of like not really care. I haven't logged into Facebook in like a decade or more. So like I'm right there with you. I don't even have it. I do have a new one that I had to get for work, and it has no post, nothing else. The only reason I needed for work was because I needed to log in to a Quest 2 headset back when they were requiring the Meta accounts. Interesting. WebKit is failing here. Why are you failing? So I went to course tags, and then it should sending me back. Okay, so I'm WebKit is Safari. Let's load this up. I'm on a Mac. I want a new window. Okay, so I want localhost 82. Let's go to tags. Yeah, that worked. Okay, here, only authors can manage tags. So yeah, there are creeps everywhere, and that's the there's some things that get bad because in an interview type situation or like a job or anything else like that, if you have like somebody who's gonna be a creep in that kind of power dynamic, it gets really bad because you give a lot of personal contact information. You get phone number, sometimes you get address to them. Uh, you like they you give a lot of like information about how somebody could basically get access to you, which is not cool. You don't stress about not knowing what to do. Just a lot of pressure from your parents and peers. Um, there's ways to respond to that, depending upon like sort of like what year you're in and like how close you are to graduating. It might change a little bit, but you can figure out how to like tell them that you're discovering what it is that you want to do, something like that. Like we're talking about these politics like answers, those type of questions, like the pressure of like you need to choose what you're gonna do for the rest of your life right now. That's a politics answer. Senior year in 2 weeks, like I mean, you should probably know what you're graduating as. Like your major should be pretty set. And by senior year, we're talking college, right? Like if your senior year is in 2 weeks of high school and you still have college later, it's like no need to know that. Okay, you're still in high school. That yeah, you don't need to know at all. Um, what you do need to do is start like exploring things that you like, but don't make a commitment. And even if you make a commitment, don't think that it's permanent, because there's very few things that are permanent that you can like choose to do in college and high school that limit you and prevent you from ever being able to do what you want to do. Of course, I'm talking from like a more an American point of view. I think Europe is the same way, but anybody who's over there can probably like confirm to me. Like choosing a major and it's not the mate like anything you're going to work in. I don't think that really affects us very much. I have heard some things about some of the more like Asian countries having it's like slight differences there, but like I can't imagine it's going to be that huge of one too. But I never lived there, so I don't know for certain. Yeah, and then that's those are management problems arc too. Like a manager needs to get involved in that kind of stuff. How about this? When when I'm hiring as a hiring manager, I don't care even if the person has a degree or what the degree is, if they have one. I only care, can they work with the team, and can they do the job? Those are the two things that really matter. And everything else is just, oh, you're an interesting person. We're going to have some fun conversations about, like, I don't know, a hobby you do. Like, maybe I worked with somebody who did long bike rides as hobbies, owned like 20 different bikes, and just like sort of interesting conversations like, oh, I had no clue, about all the little things about bikes. Yeah, well, when management does nothing, that's a thing. That's more of like a, okay, there are ways to deal with that, but you have to want to, and you have to be willing and able. Other than that, the recommendation is get out. Life is too short to be trapped in a situation where there's um, any of the dangers, right? Like any danger is social, physical, mental. Not worth it. Yeah, yeah, that's not cool. All right. WebKit is still failing consistently. So like what's going on with this? Do I need to wait more? So I go to tags, route fulfill. Oh, interesting. Okay, so error sending request to GraphQL sending load failed. Wait, did I forget? Nope, wrong one. Okay, tags. No, here I have this intercept GraphQL. So it should intercept for all of these. So go to tags, wait until the network is idle. That we should not be on the tags page anymore, but something's happening here. So go to tags, canceled. Oh, and then it's just still there. Work, work, work being described as it's like high school but worse is not someplace I would ever want to work. Stacking, hello. How are you doing today? We did back when I was teaching. My boss, I would always bring him in to like day one with the classroom. We do a lecture on like how to learn, and we do a lecture on like just like how things are going. Then he comes in, and we make him the big bad guy, and it's like, okay, he tells the students, and these are adults, mind you, these are adults like doing the entire like changing career, becoming programmers. Um, he tells everybody, no dating. You're not allowed to date each other. Don't try it. And that mostly works, but like we use that to set the expectations that this is not high school. This is not like a normal school. None of that drama is going to be accepted in any way whatsoever. We're gonna do lock down on that hard. Okay, so I go to tags. It fulfills the operation name. I get this error. Route fulfill. Okay, so you timed out because can I see where this okay, so it's public API get all data. Huh. Well, Ark, thank you for hanging out. Good chats, and have a great rest of your day. Yeah, it's like these other ones. Oh yeah, so like WebKit cannot load the page. Public API get all data. And then we have Firefox. That's working just fine, and we have the same thing where it's like, okay, that's our log. So come on, WebKit. Come on, Safari. What are you doing? Um, do I need to? It's like it gets here. This is very odd, the way this looks too. It's like blank for most of the time. Like here on Firefox, it like goes to tags and then immediately back off here. What is this music station thingy? It is so it is Twitch soundtrack by Twitch. So like you can see the little thing in the bottom that says like, oh, what the music is playing, the soundtrack info. Which is being shut off on July 17th. So it's being discontinued because too few streamers use it. I know it sucks. So we get to listen to this. I'm on the jazz station on here. It's nice because it's like well, very few voice songs, at least down on the jazz station, and it's like fairly works. And then also, for those of you watching on YouTube, you're like, "There's no music." Well, it's because I can send this to a channel that only Twitch live stream hears, and then it doesn't exist in the VOD, which is actually really nice. So on the 17th, we're going to figure out a new music solution. They have like an article that I can read to like suggestions of where to go. There's some YouTube channels that I can use. It'll be fine, but it's just sort of still annoying slightly. Okay, so you're timing out. So this return route fulfill is timing out here. So something is going on with this. So let's I can't update you. So this is the end-to-end GraphQL index. So it is line 29. No. Wait a second. What? Utils, it's login. Okay, so it's login. So it's end-to-end utils. Okay, okay. So async wave function login. User info. Okay, okay. So JSON, user info role. Now I have a none here, which is this empty. User info. Oh, because it doesn't have, okay, so user info mock data. Got it. That's what it is. You think most streamers still use Pretzel Rock? Not unless that's what we're talking about. I'm using Soundtrack by Twitch. I used Pretzel Rock for a little bit, and my I still got some muting on Twitch, and then that's the worst one is when it mutes, and then the I got some videos were claimed on YouTube, which is not that bad because I don't have my channel set for monetization, which is I probably should sometime, but that was interesting. Is like their entire thing is that you won't get claimed, you won't get muted, but then I still was every once in a while, and it really sucks. I don't even know if I can do that. I don't know if I can have an empty string as a key. So if your empty string is a key, then we have learner info mock data, user info mock data, and this comes from mock data. If you're not logged in, it's not going to do one. Oh, okay. So hold on. Let's not do this. So it shouldn't be calling user info. Wait a second. It should not be calling user info. And then this is the GraphQL interceptor that has problems. Okay. I think you're still supposed to split the channel so Pretzel Rock doesn't go into the VOD, which most people that I'm listening to still put Pretzel Rock in the VODs though. And they have a YouTube safe mode and a Twitch safe mode. So when I was using it, I switched both of those on. So it should be safe for both. But yeah, maybe we could try it again. It has ads. Does it have ads? No, it spams the chat, which is a little bit annoying too. But we'll figure it out. Okay, so your problem isn't that the problem is line 18 on the GraphQL intercept. So 18 here. Okay, so roll is, oh, because roll is nothing. So I have that console log operation name. Oh, I think I set the role as learn. A role is role public. So it becomes public. And then we can see. Okay, well, here's public API get all data. Oh, okay, wait. This timed out one. That's the other thing. Is like, why is it calling user info? In this one, I don't think it called user info. So I wonder if. All right, let's go to here. Um, if the role an empty string, okay, so role there's no is empty. Right? We can get the length. So if role length is 0, I know I can do not. I think I can do not roll or not roll that length or anything else. I just want to be specific about it. Make it easier for me to sort of like see why I'm doing this later. So if roll at length is equal to 0, every time I see myself do this, I remember the NASA guidelines for coding is actually the opposite way. So it should really be like that. Okay, so if 0 equal is rolled at length, then I want to return route dot fulfill just like an empty object. So we can try that to see if we at least don't get a timeout anymore. No timeout, and now it works as expected. So weird. Wait, now you're timed out again? Why is that timing out? That should just straight up work. I'm Is that async? Is fulfill an async thing? Fulfill returns a promise. Async await. Oh, but I return a promise. Okay, I return a promise here, so that's fine then. And then it gets awaited. It gets awaited by whoever calls this, so it should be fine. The S in JavaScript is for sense. Oh no, ha! The S in JavaScript is for sense. Yes. That 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 makes more sense. I like that. Okay. Does it succeeded once and then it failed a couple times, which is so weird. Did it like forget to yeah, see like okay. This is like when I don't like JavaScripty type stuff. Is like when this type of thing happens. Like, okay, cannot load the tags page. So great. So visitors cannot load it. Let's okay. So let's messages testing that visitors cannot edit tags. Okay, I want to do the same thing for learners. So learners, okay, role is going to be a learner. Cannot see the tags link and cannot load the tags page. Okay, works there too. Okay, so testing that learners cannot edit tags. Okay, come on. Oh, I locked it. Okay, I was like, why is nothing working? I accidentally hit Control G, which locked the window in place, so I couldn't control it anymore, and all my keyboard commands were going straight into the terminal, which is not what I wanted to do. Okay, so we did that. So visitor and learners, then we finally get to do test describe authors. Okay, so we'll do await. We'll just do a login. So login author. Go to the page, and then we'll go to tags. I think it's just tags. Okay. And then what's the first thing we want to test here? Oh, I guess like first that we can navigate to tags. So sure, before each we can go there, but like okay, so can navigate to tags. Now if I'm on tags, oh I can still see it up here. So I want to be able to see that. can navigate to tags. I want to, okay, so it doesn't matter that if I'm on the tags page or not for this. I just want to see that there's the link there. So I want to expect, wait, page dot get by role, a link. And this link is going to be the name of tags. Is visible be true. Okay. I did not mean to multi-line this. Okay. Failed. Okay, so is visible. So I want this tags here. Oh, it resolved to 2 elements because there's another tags link down here because I have a footer and I have a header. So I guess I want get by role first. Is visible. Okay, so let's try that one. Okay, so that's working. So we can navigate to the tags. Okay. Then we go on to the tag, and then I want to be able to. What are things that I can do on here? I can create a tag, and that's it. I guess I'll follow my pattern. Okay, so testing that we can, that authors navigate to tags. Okay, so test that can create a tag. So want to await page dot get by label. So I want to grab this thing. So tag name. Tag name. And then I want to type. I guess I want to create a new tag. So const tag name equals, I think I'm using faker, right? Yeah, faker. I don't think like internet has like the idea of like a tag, right? No. Maybe faker dot. Figured out word. Okay, so we figured out word. Oh, there's so many choices here. Adjective, adverb, conjunction, interjection, noun. What if I don't care? I want any word. Okay, Okay, figure dot, how about random? Okay, there it goes, word, like that. So figure dot random dot word returns a random word. Okay, so that'll be the new tag here. So I want to type in the tag name. I probably want to pretend to be more of a user. So we're going to delay. I think the delay is the delay between keystrokes on this. So if I say something like you're like, I don't know, 50 milliseconds between each one. Okay, so type that in fast, but not insanely fast. Once that's in there, I want you to find the button create tag and then click it. So wait, page dot get by role button. And click it. Also, the button is going to have the name of create tag. Okay, so click that, and then I'm awaiting that. Yeah. So then I expect to now see it in this list down here. So then I expect, so page dot get by text, the tag name, or is visible, which means you need to be awaited. I keep on misspelling expect. Okay, to be true. Okay, can create a tag. That failed. There was an error creating a tag. Okay, well that's a thing. What happened here? So, oh, missing field data because there's a little bit of a GraphQL thing happening here. Okay, so we need to add in a GraphQL thing for that. I think this is gonna be database, mutations, API. Oh, insert tag. This one right here. I probably want to create a new file. So do new write end-to-end tests, GraphQL interceptor. And this is API. Probably okay. Let's paste this in here. So you're gonna be okay. Gonna be open there. Close here. Mutation API insert tag. I think that means you're gonna be here like this. I don't care about you. You're gonna open like that. Oh, okay. When eventually I save this, it'll be JSON. Okay, so insert LMS tags 1. Okay, so then this is the next thing. And then, okay, so then what you're going to get back is an ID and a name. So an ID will be something like 1, and a name will be something like new tag. Ooh, but problem. I don't know what this new tag is going to be. If I send this back, like, I think I'm injecting it into the DOM without looking at what this is. So like, I don't know if I care. Okay, so if I do that, I want save. Okay, so now I can do end-to-end tests, GraphQL interceptor. This is going to be API insert tag JSON. So API insert tag from. Okay, and then do all that stuff. Okay, so it's going to be only going to happen on author, which is going to be this mock data. So it's you. Okay, so then that might make it work. Uh-oh. Whenever that happens, it's usually some kind of coding problem. Like, let's see, error expected comma or closing after property value in JSON at position 67. Can I? Okay, where was the first time this happened? I think these are the runs. So GraphQL interceptor index line 8. Oh, so when I'm attempting to input that in there, so I have a problem with my JSON. Yep, a lack of a comma would be a problem. Okay, so you failed. So I put in that, and you're not showing up down here. Not even in the after, okay. Okay, so get by role button. Okay, so I found that button, and it clicks it. It fulfills the data. We wrote in transmitter, but it's not showing up there. Oh, panicked at ID and name missing from tag response data. Okay, let's go take a look at what it's supposed to look like and not just guess. Okay, so transmitter. Transmitter. So I have insert LMS tags 1. Here, we'll just replace you. Start over again. Okay, so if I get rid of the data, because we insert that on otherwise. Okay, we have insert LMS tags 1. Okay. Let's try that. It's a completely different object than I used. So that's good. Okay. So I put in southeast. Oh, I don't see it in here. Ooh. Yeah, that should be in there, but I don't see it. The other thing here is that we can look for tag created. So let me search for that first. Maybe there's a timing issue. So we can do an expect which dot get by text. I will not that. I want expect text tag created do is visible be true. Okay. So I want you to look for that is visible thing there. Okay, so expect that. Okay, expect that to be true. It found it. Expect you to be true. It did not find it. So I put in fresh and that didn't work. Let's go verify that this isn't working the way it's supposed to work. So we'll use fresh. Tag created. Oh, there it is right there. Now I don't see like a new tag. Oh, but there's transmitter here. Oh no. Okay, so it's using the value that we put in. So let's change the code to use the value that was handed to us if it's successful, and then that will show up. So this is going to be okay. Pages tags. Okay, so on submit, we insert the tag. We do a reduce meet future. So, okay, I get the token. I API insert tag. Oh, and then I'm inserting, okay, I'm inserting the tag ID and the tag name from this. And so maybe I can use, oh, and I've lost this name here. That's what the problem is. So if I change you, to be new tag name, oh, actually, never mind. I didn't need that. I'm not, for some reason, I thought this was like um, a function declaration. No, it's not. So then I just want you. Okay, so insert, you take in something, key value. So if I clone you and then insert you here, the return type of this call is implicit clone expected a tag found in iString. Oh, it wants the full tag. Okay. So, oh, yeah. It'd almost be like me saying, okay, so tag dot name equals name. Tag there. Cannot assign. Okay, so let's declare you as mutable. Okay, you're successful, and then testing again. Then you pass. So what I'm doing here, I'm making a change to the code to make it more testable, which is always an interesting thing, right? So I'm like saying, okay, whatever I pass in is what goes there regardless of what comes back from the database. So I'm not testing the database. I trust the database is going to respond with what's appropriate. Uh, which is always sort of like a fun thing to think about. Now, if I get to here at the end, now there's some things that'd be nice. This might be good to sort of like reset, have it go away at the end. And then the other thing is I want to be able to press enter and return too. So let's do create tags. So I can create a tag. So I want expect await page dot. So I want that input to be empty. Now, if I'm typing in here twice, let's just grab this here. This is gonna be tag input. Okay, so await that, and then await tag input, input value. Can I have like empty? So to be that. Yeah, okay. So you have that stuff in here. That's great. Now, to make you actually become empty, on submit, okay, so the thing happens. Can I set so BB input, ID label, name. Okay, so we have this value, but I think that's like the reset of the value. I'm not sure. Do I need something to update the value? Okay, so I use value as use state. And when am I setting value? It's set to nothing. Use effect once. Okay, is that value cloned? And then I set it to the prop value. So like the very first time this loads, we set that to be the prop value. So, I wonder how I can like tell it. So the reason why I did this is because I wanted the ability to grab the value and change it and not have to have anything above this sort of be aware of what the value is at any one moment in time. But because of that, I've lost access to the value. So I would really love just like to be able to like set a new value, like hey, be clear or something like that. But I don't know if I can. I can set. Could we have the prop value? I don't know. I'll have to think about this. I'll have to think about like how I want to do this. I might have to go back to the old method we had with inputs where we emit out the value on every change or on every input. And then we don't store the value internally, which I don't necessarily like. Ark, welcome back. Fastest job interview ever. That's usually not a good sign. But how was it? Good or not good? Okay, it's for a replacement job in a hangar, not a job in dev. Okay. Yeah, for me, the last the last many job interviews I've ever done have only ever been in dev type stuff. So I'm not really aware of like how jobs work normally outside of the dev world. But good. Okay. Well, in that case, early like I don't know if we can say like congrats anyways yet, but hopefully good. You always dislike when I say I've got more people to see. I mean, I go back and forth when I'm interviewing people whether or not I should sort of like admit that we're looking at other people. I usually err on the state of like just trying to be honest and not trying to like hide people like, "Oh yeah, you're totally the only person we're looking at." It's like, well, that's not true, but also I fully expect them to be interviewing with multiple people too. But I go back and forth on it. All right, well, good luck with that. Hopefully it works out. I need to think about what I'm going to do with this and then so tomorrow is 4th of July, which is a holiday here in the United States. I think I'm going to be streaming tomorrow. Um I think I'm going to stream at the normal time too. Sort of like around 6 and probably for the same amount. I'm probably going to take like I don't know, take some breaks and nap during the day because lots of people do fireworks here at on 4th of July, and then it makes it so you can't sleep at night because they decide to do fireworks into the wee hours of the morning, which is not fun. It feels like it's low key saying, "Hey, you're good, but we could find better." I mean, I I see where you're coming from, but I'm not sure that that's what they're thinking. I think they're trying to just give a reason why they're not going to get back to you right away. But I could like I can definitely see how you could feel that way. I'll have to like think about how I want to cover that. Oh, they're getting back to you in under 48 hours? That's pretty good. That's pretty good. Well, good luck for that, and then hopefully within 48 hours you can let us know that you got a job. Um, as I sort of mentioned, I'm going to think about this and what I want to do with it, and I think that's all I've got. So I'm going to go ahead and take off for the day. I'll be back tomorrow, I think, at the normal time, but if I decide to sleep in, I might be like an hour later or so. So with that, have a great rest of your Monday, and I will see you all next time. Bye.